Police and protesters clash in the street after an arrest that some say looked more like a kidnapping.
This is the moment sparking outrage and more distrust of the NYPD tonight. Mike Laster of Brooklyn has been protesting all over the country since the death of George Floyd in May. He says Tuesday night, a large group had peacefully set up to march and feed the homeless in a park at 2nd Avenue and 25th Street when police on bikes showed up and things got out of hand.
And they grabbed the transgender woman and they threw her down. I tried to separate myself from the officer and the protest, and he threw his bike on me.
Between the men in plain clothes and the unmarked van, Laster and others say it looked like a kidnapping. But the NYPD says the woman they arrested, 18-year-old Nikki Stone, was wanted for spray painting the lenses of 6 police cameras during separate criminal incidents. Police say this 18-year-old woman, who is homeless, has done a lot of damage in the city. They've been looking for her for a while, and tonight they finally tracked her down.
Oh yes, the 18-year-old homeless trans woman has done a lot of damage in the city. I'm sure that's accurate. Notice how the poorest, least powerful people are doing the most damage in authorities' eyes, but the people with actual power, say down on Wall Street, that was in Kips Bay where she was dragged into that van, just, a few miles downtown. They're doing no damage because they're respectable, even though they crashed the economy and caused millions and millions of people to lose their homes, their livelihoods, etc. But apparently, the woman who was dragged into that unmarked van in a way that, disturbingly, the NYPD are clearly mimicking Trump's feds in Portland and other cities like Seattle, etc. Apparently, she damaged police cameras around City Hall. So, God forbid, I know. God forbid. What she deserves is to not have her Miranda rights read to her, by the way, and be dragged into a van, an unmarked van, and not be told by cops who were, by the way, not all of them dressed in police gear. It looked like a kidnapping. I saw Chris Hayes call it that on Twitter. That's exactly what it looked like. And of course, Ted Cruz, we get it, he's a fascist. He was defending it as well. But what's additionally scary is that Bill de Blasio, who ran on police reform, really is not reacting to this at all, but more details on what went down. New York City police officers, several in plain clothes, swooped into a demonstration against aggressive police tactics on Tuesday and arrested a protester they appeared to have singled out, pulling her into an unmarked minivan before driving off. Videos of the encounter drew intense criticism on social media, including accusations that the New York police were adopting tactics similar to those used by federal agents during recent protests in Portland, Oregon, where some people were pulled into unmarked vans. Corey Johnson, the city council speaker, called the video of the encounter incredibly disturbing. Scott M. Stringer, the New York City comptroller, said he was deeply concerned. Councilman Brad Lander of Brooklyn said that with the anxiety about what's happening in Portland, the NYPD deploying unmarked vans with plainclothes cops to make street arrests of protesters feels more like provocation than public safety. And a spokeswoman for Mayor Bill de Blasio referred questions about the woman's arrest on Tuesday night to the statement from the police department. That quote, especially juxtaposed with the other city officials speaking out and saying that it was disturbing, is so jarring. Mayor Bill de Blasio ran on police reform. That's why he's mayor. And now, after they dox his daughter, have brutalized his constituents, he's going to refer to the police union, or police department. Freudian slip there. Pretty much the police union running the show. That's what weakness in leadership looks like. He's not even going to run again. Like, why not just stand up to them? They hate you anyway, dude, because you tried to put in body cameras and small semblances of police reform and you ended stop and frisk. God forbid. You were supposed to be principled on this topic. And now you're referring to their statement about dragging a homeless woman, an 18-year-old, into an unmarked van and pretending like that's okay. So your rhetoric on Donald Trump and his fascistic, unconstitutional tactics, it might ring a little bit hollow. It does. And that's directly because of your lack of leadership.